Darkness. Then a flash of white-hot exhaust tears through the pre-dawn sky over the Utah test and training range. The ground trembles. A three-stage solid-fuel rocket climbs on a pillar of fire, its composite airframe glinting as it punches through the troposphere. 30 seconds, 60. The booster separates. Stage 2 ignites. In less than half an hour, this missile could deliver a thermonuclear payload to any coordinate on Earth. This is the LGM-35 Sentinel, and it's rewriting the rules of nuclear deterrence. 14:07 hours. Hill Air Force Base, Utah, February 2026. The stakes? A $140.9 billion program designed to replace the most obsolete leg of America's nuclear triad. For more than 5 decades, the Minuteman III has stood silent vigil in concrete silos scattered across Wyoming, Montana, and North Dakota. 450 missiles, 400 on hair-trigger alert. Their guidance computers running on circuit boards designed during the Nixon administration. The infrastructure still relies on copper cables laid in the 1970s. The boosters were meant to last 10 years. They've lasted 50. The Pentagon concluded years ago that trying to sustain Minuteman III through 2075 would cost more and risk more than building an entirely new weapon system from the ground up. Enter Project Sentinel, the ground-based strategic deterrent. A complete recapitalization of America's land-based nuclear arsenal and the largest single infrastructure project the Air Force has attempted since the interstate highway system. The missile itself is a marvel of modular engineering. 3 stages: lighter composite materials, increased throw weight, an open system architecture designed for incremental upgrades over a projected 50-year service life. Digital engineering, simulation-based development, components that can be swapped out without tearing apart the entire weapon. It's built to carry the W-87 zero thermonuclear warhead initially, with the more advanced W-87-1 slated for integration by the early 2030s. Range, over 5,500 kilometers. Time to target, roughly 30 minutes, anywhere on the globe. Northrop Grumman secured the $13.3 billion engineering and manufacturing development contract in September 2020. Sole source, after Boeing withdrew citing concerns over Northrop's acquisition of a critical rocket motor supplier. The plan: 659 missiles, 634 operational, 25 for development and testing, 400 deployed on alert, ensuring the United States maintains the congressional mandate for a robust land-based deterrent. But here's where the story gets complicated. Because Sentinel isn't just about the missile, it's about modernizing 40,000 square miles of Cold War infrastructure spread across 6 states. 450 missile silos, more than 600 facilities, launch control centers, command and control networks, communication systems that were state-of-the-art when Led Zeppelin released their 4th album. The Air Force initially planned to reuse 7,500 miles of existing copper cabling connecting the silos to launch centers. Then engineers discovered the cables were inadequate. They'd have to be ripped out, replaced, with fiber optics, higher capacity, future-proof, and the silos themselves. Many are incompatible with Sentinel's dimensions and systems. They'll need to be enlarged, some rebuilt entirely. New easements across private land, environmental impact assessments, real estate acquisition. It's not just a missile program, it's a civil engineering moonshot. So imagine this, a crisis scenario, 5 years from now. Tensions escalate in the Indo-Pacific. A peer adversary begins moving assets into position. Decision timelines compress. The National Command Authority needs options. The submarine force is survivable, but slow to reposition. The bomber fleet is flexible, but vulnerable on the runway. The ICBM force, instant, distributed. 400 hardened targets an adversary would have to neutralize simultaneously in a massive attack on the US homeland. That's the strategic calculus Sentinel preserves. The land-based leg complicates the enemy's targeting problem, increases the costs of aggression, and ensures that retaliation is certain. Launch control centers buried beneath the Great Plains receive encrypted orders through redundant comlinks. Fiber optic networks hum with data. Launch crews validate authentication codes. Keys turn. Within minutes, the first Sentinel clears its silo. Stage 1 separation, Stage 2 ignition. The post-boost vehicle orients. The re-entry vehicle deploys. Countermeasures activate. Electronic warfare, chaff, decoys designed to penetrate layered missile defenses. The warhead rides a ballistic arc through the mesosphere. Terminal phase guidance active, adjusting trajectory in real time. Impact, mission complete. Except it's not that simple. Because in January 2024, the Air Force notified Congress that Sentinel had breached the Nunn-McCurdy cost threshold, the statutory tripwire that forces a program to justify its existence or face termination. The cost per missile had spiked from $118 million to $162 million in 2020, a 37% increase. Total program cost, now projected at $140.9 billion, 81% higher than the Milestone B baseline. The Pentagon's Undersecretary of Defense for Acquisition and Sustainment, William LaPlante, certified the program as essential to national security with no acceptable alternatives. But he also rescinded Milestone B approval and ordered a complete restructuring. The culprits? Underestimated infrastructure costs, design changes discovered during early development, supply chain disruptions, staffing shortfalls, clearance processing delays, immature cybersecurity requirements. The first flight test, originally scheduled for late 2023, slipped to February 2026. A 2-year delay blamed on longer lead times for guidance computer components. Initial operational capability, once targeted for 2029, now won't arrive until the mid-2030s. And the program's schedule risk has cascaded into a separate crisis. Minuteman III, already operating decades past its design life, may now have to remain in service until 2050. The Government Accountability Office issued a stark warning. Extending Minuteman III to 2050 is technically feasible, barely, but requires replacing rocket motors, upgrading guidance systems, and cutting back on test launch rates because spare parts are running out. The Air Force will be managing 2 ICBM fleets simultaneously, a Cold War relic limping toward retirement and a bleeding-edge replacement struggling to meet its deadlines. GAO urged the Pentagon to develop a comprehensive risk management plan, schedule construction of a dedicated Sentinel test facility, and address personnel and sustainment challenges. DoD concurred. The fixes are in motion, but the clock is ticking. Behind the billion-dollar price tags and technical delays are the people making it happen. Engineers at Northrop Grumman facilities in Roy, Utah and Chandler, Arizona, running digital simulations and fabricating composite motor casings. Air Force crews at F.E. Warren, Malmstrom and Minot Air Force bases preparing to transition from Minuteman III to Sentinel. Construction workers laying fiber optic conduit across the windswept plains of Wyoming and Montana. Suppliers across the country feeding into a supply chain that spans thousands of components and hundreds of subcontractors. The industrial base supporting Sentinel employs tens of thousands. It's a workforce spread across rural communities that have hosted ICBM operations for generations. These are the men and women who will ensure that when the order comes, if it ever comes, the weapon is ready. Yet the program's escalating costs have ignited fierce debate. Some lawmakers question whether a brand new ICBM is necessary at all. In July 2025, legislation was introduced proposing a 1-year pause on Sentinel funding, with resources redirected to K-12 education. Arms control advocates argue the United States could eliminate land-based ICBMs entirely and rely on a nuclear dyad, submarines and bombers, freeing up hundreds of billions for domestic priorities while reducing the risk of accidental escalation. The Federation of American Scientists contends that life-extending Minuteman III through 2050 would be far cheaper than developing Sentinel, and that the Air Force's analysis of alternatives unfairly dismissed incremental modernization. Others suggest radical alternatives, mobile ICBMs on rail or road launchers, deep underground basing, even conventional payloads for global strike missions. But every nuclear posture review since the Cold War has reaffirmed the value of the nuclear triad. And senior leaders like Air Force Global Strike Command's General Thomas Bussiere insist that the land-based leg remains essential, imposing a dynamic of decision calculus on adversaries and ensuring that any first strike would require a catastrophic attack on the American homeland. Here's what's undeniable. Project Sentinel is a bet on the future of strategic deterrence. It's a recognition that the weapons and infrastructure built during the Cold War cannot endure forever, no matter how many life extension programs are applied. It's a statement that the United States intends to preserve all three legs of the nuclear triad through 2075 and beyond. It's also a cautionary tale about the challenges of managing a program with this level of complexity, where the missile is only part of the equation and where decisions made in 2020 can cascade into cost and schedule shocks years later. The restructuring process will take until 2026. The program's revised acquisition strategy is still being finalized. Transparency, oversight, and rigorous risk management will determine whether Sentinel ultimately delivers on its promise, a safe, secure, and effective land-based deterrent for the next half-century, or whether it becomes another cautionary chapter in the annals of defense acquisition. So here's the question for you. If you were advising the Secretary of Defense, would you push forward with Sentinel at $140 billion and accept the delays, or pivot to a cheaper alternative and risk a capability gap as Minuteman III reaches the end of its life? Is the land-based leg of the triad worth the cost, or is it time to rethink the entire structure of America's nuclear arsenal? Let me know in the comments. This is DIB Dispatch, where billion-dollar projects meet battlefield reality. Stay sharp.